Today we have a 2010 Nissan Rogue. It's a SL model, all-wheel drive. It's got the little 4-cylinder in it. And they had it in some place getting oil changed, and they told them their tie rod end was loose on the left front, which happens to be the driver's side front. We're going to show you where that's located and how to replace it. After inspecting it, you can see it's loose. So first thing we do is remove the tire and rim. These are 13/16. Before I disconnect anything, I'm going to use 2 crescent wrenches. And you can see this car is extremely rusty for whatever reason. So we'll just break these loose. Oh man. Oh, there it goes. Okay, broke it loose. Now I'm just going to snug it back up. And now we're going to try to get a socket on this right here. This happens to be a 15mm right here. What we're going to, I put some lube on it just for the heck of it because it looks like it's never been lubed. And this is extremely rusty. So we're going to pound that sucker down on there and hopefully hit it with a gun and break it loose. Like I said, it's extremely rusty. So I'm going to put a 15 socket on. I beat that on. And I'm going to use our big gun. Hopefully that breaks it loose. If not, I'll have to apply a little heat to it. All right. Now that the rust is off, maybe it's not a 15. You can see how bad this thing is. I mean, it's just rotted right off of there, which is extremely weird being at 2010. You can see it's so rusted, these are actually rounded. So now we're going to tap a 14 on here. Like that. Now hopefully we're able to break it loose. All right, we got the 14 on there, and if this doesn't work, we'll apply some heat. All right. And you can tell it's spinning again, so there's nothing for it to grab. So we'll get the torches out. And for whatever reason, some cars just need heat. So you can tell we applied the heat, and we actually broke it loose when it was hot. It's already loose. So we're just gonna spin this off and then remove our tie rod. Of course, you had to let it cool a little. Finally got that thing off. And if you didn't have torches in that, you could try to cut it off or whatever it takes, but torches usually work pretty well, pretty good. Knock it down because it's not going to be using that again. You can count. I just leave the old nut there. So I got a friend that counts, but the idea is just take it off. The part should be fairly close, and the steering wheel is sitting straight. So when I put it back together, I'm going to straighten it up, eyeball it as straight as possible, and it should drop in. I might have to adjust it a little, in or out, but the thing is, you're going to have it aligned regardless because we're doing both sides. Usually you do one, you do both. Start the new one. All right, now we're going to see how close we are on this one. And we, like I said, we might have to adjust it left or right. Depends on the manufacturer, though. Now I'm just going to install the nut. Kind of snug it just a little. And then I'm going to eyeball this thing. Like I said, it depends on the manufacturer. This could be a hair different. So I'm going to go from the front and look at it. And if it looks good enough, yeah, you can tell it's in great shape. I'm going to leave it where it's at, and they can adjust it when they're doing alignment. The new ones happens to be a 17. Usually I buy them with a grease fitting on the bottom. These parts were supplied by the customer, so I'm sure they're not going to keep it forever. So let's tighten this up. And the nice thing about this new one is you can see there's actually a hole on this that you're going to put a cotter key in, and I like those better than the ones without. Not that the other ones would ever fall off, but okay, tighten this up. Check out that hole and put the cotter key in. So there's a hole on this thing. You just have to line it up. The nice thing is you put it like that right there, and you can use pliers, or you can do it by hand. Just bends it around like that, and there's no way that can come off then. Just like that. You see it's got a flat spot right there, and they're going to break this loose for the alignment anyway, but we're going to go right there. Tighten that up. Last thing we're going to do is put the tire on, and then take it to have it aligned. The last thing we do is tighten this up, go in a crossing pattern. Like that. Put on the ground, we'll torque it to spec. And that's all it takes to do a outer tie rod end on a 2010 Nissan Rogue all-wheel drive SL with a 4-cylinder motor.